when there's no more room on Steam, the pixel platformers will walk the earth. Many times when thinking about the connection between cinema and gaming, I do think, well, perhaps the two should stay a little bit separate. I mean, I can always appreciate influences, I think everyone does, but I don't like when gaming goes full-on cinematic without an especially good reason to do so. Avoid Hope is clearly developed by lovers of cinema, but it does pick up interesting influences from both movies and classic cinematic platformers. This is our preview. Developed by Swedish studio Elden Pixels, Avoid Hope is a classic 2D puzzle platformer with some action sequences and a classic pixelated graphic style. The studio has previously worked on the two similar titles, Awa's Awakening and Awa's Legacy, the first being in a quite clearly 8-bit NES style and the second following up more with a 16-bit kind of graphics. Avoid Hope goes into quite a different direction, foregoing the original fantasy vibe of the studio's previous two games for a more kind of modern urban horror story. If you're thinking of It Follows, then you're on the right track. In Avoid Hope, we're dealing with a virus that is taking over our city, erasing people's memories and leaving them empty husks without a purpose. We'll have to try and defend our family while going around to find what is going on behind this deadly virus and how we can cure the people, while of course not dying. In a preview we got to play several levels that will be featured in the full game. In each one we are exploring the city or the suburbs, entering buildings and for the most part solving small puzzles to proceed. At the start, puzzles will be simply about moving crates around in order for us to reach higher ledges and classic pressing buttons to open doors or elevators. After a while we got to collect a gun, which not only it will let us reach higher buttons and levers, but also deal with enemies. Yes, indeed there will be monsters to deal with. Sort of bigger humans that have transformed for good and left their humanity behind. The pistol will be efficient at stopping them in their tracks, but unfortunately only for a limited amount of time. It also does need a little bit to charge the shot, but overall it works pretty efficiently. After that we'll get even more items, such as for example a classic crowbar, which we can use to open up doors which are barred. Along the way, we also have to be careful for guards. Indeed, in the style of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, there are humans who will alert those bigger monsters by screaming and pointing in our direction. While they won't attack us, also they can be stopped, so yeah, better be careful around them. From what we have played, the flow of the gameplay is pleasant, showcasing that Elden Pixels have quite the experience in the side-scrolling genre. There's a bit of backtracking involved as well. When you collect new items, of course you're invited to go back to previous levels that you visited to unlock new things and see if you can discover more of what is going on. Of course, the graphics, as mentioned, they're kind of pixelated and very pleasant and filled with personality and light effects. The graphics are also filled with references to horror movies. Even though the posters are quite pixelated and simplified, you can clearly see movies such as the classic Dawn of the Dead, for example. But that's not all, as that is clearly the poster for Requiem for a Dream. So yeah, those guys know their movies. Nice. Well, the story is just starting out from what we've played, so there's not much that we can comment on. But I feel that Avoid Hope will definitely hinge on how Elden Pixels will be able to keep the puzzles engaging as well as put in a fair enough of story so that we as players can be interested in continuing. But from what we've seen in this preview so far, they're definitely on the right track. This is looking like another quality release from the Swedish studio, which have already pleased us with both Awa titles. Avoid Hope is coming out on February 29th. We will update you then with our full review. Until then, good night.